Have you ever felt invisible because you are quiet? Not ignored on purpose, not pushed away, just unseen. In a world that rewards the loudest voice, the fastest response, and the boldest personality, silence is often mistaken for weakness. But the Bible tells a very different story. Scripture reveals again and again that God does not pass over the quiet ones. In fact, He often chooses them. The Bible begins not with chaos, but with God speaking into the silence. Before light, before motion, before sound filled the earth, there was stillness, and God moved within it. From the very foundation of creation, silence is not empty, it is sacred. Throughout Scripture, God consistently meets people in moments of quiet. Elijah stood on the mountain expecting God in power and spectacle, but the Lord was not in the wind, not in the earthquake, not in the fire. God came in a gentle whisper. That whisper reveals something timeless. God does not need noise to be powerful. He does not compete for attention. He speaks to those who are willing to listen. Moses is one of the greatest leaders in the Bible, yet he described himself as slow of speech and hesitant with words. He did not believe his voice was strong enough to stand before Pharaoh, but God was not looking for eloquence. He was looking for obedience. Moses' quiet dependence on God became the channel through which a nation was set free. Gideon hid from his enemies, unsure of his worth, convinced that he was the least in his family. God did not correct Gideon by making him louder or bolder first. Instead, God met him in his fear and called him a mighty warrior. Gideon's strength was not in volume, but in trust. David was forgotten in the fields when the prophet came to anoint a king. He was not invited into the room. He did not announce himself. Yet God told Samuel that man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. While others spoke, David listened. While others sought recognition, David learned faithfulness in quiet places. Mary, the mother of Jesus, did not respond to God's calling with speeches or celebration. She responded with surrender. She treasured things in her heart. She trusted in silence. And through her quiet obedience, God entered the world in human form. The most significant moment in history began not with shouting, but with a humble yes. Jesus himself was not what the world expected. He did not shout in the streets or fight for attention. He withdrew often to pray alone. He moved with gentleness. Isaiah said he would not break a bruised reed or quench a smoldering wick. His strength was steady, not aggressive. His authority was calm, not loud. Jesus noticed the quiet people. He saw Zacchaeus watching from a distance. He felt the silent faith of the woman who reached out just to touch the hem of his garment. He welcomed children who had no voice in society. He responded to faith that was not announced but deeply rooted. The Psalms call us to be still and know that God is God. Stillness is not passivity, it is trust. Quiet people often live in this posture naturally. They reflect, they observe, they feel deeply, they pray sincerely. Their faith is not performative, it is personal. The Bible never teaches that quietness equals weakness. Scripture repeatedly shows that quiet faith endures when noise fades. Quiet obedience shapes history. Quiet trust withstands storms. Some of the strongest people in the Bible were those who learned to wait, to listen, and to move only when God spoke. If you are a quiet person, you are not forgotten by God. You are not behind. You are not lacking. Your silence is not a flaw. It may be the space where God speaks most clearly to you. The world may overlook the quiet ones, but heaven does not. God sees the prayers you never say out loud. He hears the faith you carry quietly. He knows the strength it takes to remain gentle in a loud and demanding world. So do not rush to become louder just to be seen. Do not mistake silence for insignificance. In the Bible, the quiet ones are often the carriers of purpose, the guardians of faith, and the vessels through which God moves most deeply. And even now, in the stillness, God is speaking. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to sit with it. reflect, listen, and remember, your quiet faith is powerful.